Rise and shine, Rwanda. It's Wednesday, the 6th of January.
Good morning. It's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Ivan Magwene.
And me, Yvette Chimbusho.
Over the next hour, we'll bring you all the latest news, sports and business headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. But as usual, we start with Yvette. What's in the world of business?
Well, rice processors, there's some that are doing things, or at least processing rice, illegally. So we have everybody that is in rice farming coming together and stopping such illegal processing.
Mm-hmm.
And
Rice.
I'll tell you more.
My favorite rice.
I love rice. Don't we all love rice?
Me too. Yes. Sherry, I'm so in love with Yvette today, so.
Before we go into what I have, today is my sister's birthday. And let me just say happy birthday, Shanice.
Happy birthday, Shanice.
And in lifestyle, what I have for you today is comedy. We're going to talk about how comedy is growing and how social media is playing a very big role in that. So I'll give you more on that.
All right.
The follow-up of Chad. We promised all Rwandans and everyone who is watching Rise and Shine all over the world that we are going to make a build-up of Chan every day. Today, in particular, Amavubi is playing with Cameroon for their first game of pre-season of the training before the Chan actually start. They're having two games. There's one today and there's another one on Sunday. Actually, they changed the schedule. It was supposed to be DRC Congo today, but Cameroon came in Rwanda earlier, and that's why they are going to play Cameroon today and DR Congo on Sunday. So I'll tell you more in details.
Can't wait to hear that. Well, all that and more still to come, but first, of course, is the Rise and Shine story of the day. The International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda, commonly known as the ICTR, which was established by the United Nations Security Council in 1994, closed on December 14th. The tribunal was set up to prosecute persons responsible for the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi and other serious violations of international humanitarian law committed in Rwanda and neighboring countries. Mind you, these were most of them the masterminders of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Within that period and with an annual budget over $100 million, it had tried only 85 individuals despite over 1 million people having lost their lives. On the closing day, the ICTR Appeals Chamber upheld Pauline Nyiramasuko's conviction for conspiracy to commit genocide and reduced her life sentence, which of course was a decision that was not happily received by many. The former Family Affairs Minister was charged together with her son Arsene Shalom Nahobari, together with the former mayor of Muganza, Elinda Yambaje. The trial was sentenced to 47 years each. But of course, all these decisions were certain decisions by many, where many were not happy for. But today, I'm not going to focus more on the trials, but rather we're focusing more on what has the 20 years of this court been and what's the kind of general view or the general concern behind the court after all these 20 years in operation.
Just a few weeks ago, it closed.
Yes.
Yes. And so today I want to focus more on a brief analysis of the ICTR.
Yes.
Yes. And so let's start with, first of all, the main objective of the ICTR was to trial the masterminds.
Yes.
Are we talking about all of them?
Well, most of them.
Most of them?
Yes.
A lot of them?
At least the biggest masterminds of the Rwandan genocide against the Tutsi.
To say 1994.
Yes.
And then, according to the mandate, 80% of its cases, or at least its objectives, were achieved.
That's what it says.
Yes. Okay, let's go back to the cases that were trialed. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that.
All right. Now, Yvette, before we get into this, I will say I'm not that much of a justice or peace or some
Neither
expert. I'm just going to talk about this in my small journalistic way, I would say. But now, starting with your question, first of all, according to the numbers, since its establishment, the court indicted 93 individuals, sentenced 61, and acquitted 14 genocide suspects. 10 cases were referred to the national adjudication for trial. Okay. So, in the whole general view, at least 85 suspects were sentenced to different, of course, punishments as we can see.
Okay.
But a little bit more about the ICTR. As you said, the main objective. The main objective was to make sure that bring to trial the masterminders of the Rwandan in 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Was this achieved? Well, it's something that I can argue. It's something any other person can
and they say that 80%.
80% of that was achieved. But of course, was this the same reaction that Rwandans got? Because this court was not established for the Congolese or the Ugandans. It was established because of the Rwandan genocide. What has been the general overview of the ICTR in the 20 years for the Rwandans, especially for the Rwandan justice back home? Because a lot of survivors from the genocide, a lot of the people that lost their loved ones needed to have genocide, and being the fact that
justice.
It was justice needed to wanted to see that all these masterminders were brought to justice. As we're speaking right now, at least 8 of those that were indicted by the court are still, are on the run, and most of them are fugitives. Actually, the last one...
So that is the 20% that has not been achieved.
Maybe I would say that. But of course, the last one I think right now was Ladislas Ntaganzwa, who's 53, one of the 9 suspects by the UN that was wanted by the UN, was arrested last week in the DR Congo. But I would say right now, of course, we've seen a lot of, I would say, signposts around town where they have been put, saying that all these people are wanted for the crime of genocide, and they've been put prizes for any person who gives any news of where they are. Now I'll bring it back home. What has been the reaction? First of all, before the closure of the court, we saw that some delegates from the International Criminal Tribunal were in Kigali to meet with the Minister of Justice and to meet up with the Chief Justice. And part of what we saw was some of the reaction. For example, I would have a reaction from the president of Ibuka. For people to know, Ibuka is an umbrella organization for the genocide survivors. He recently said that the court delivered nothing for both the victims and the genocide and the survivors of the genocide. And I quote, there was no compensation delivered for the horrific atrocities committed during the genocide. End of quote. And now, to me, when a person from Ibuka says this, that means at least for the ICTR, it's a worry that actually nothing much of what it was supposed to do could be seen in the eyes of the genocide survivors. If you look at why people say this is a court that had a price tag at least of $2 billion US along its work in these 20 years. An annual budget of $100 million US.
That's a lot of money.
Yes, a lot of money. And it came out to try 85 people. All right? And if you look at, for example, what the Gacaca court did, the Gacaca court did over 1.3 million suspects on a shoestring budget, I mind you, were tried. And of course, Gacaca made, at least gave that justice. Not only justice, it helped in the reconciliation process. It helped in the restoration of the Rwandans. It helped in the forgiveness, in the process. So for one would say, comparing to that, indeed, for some, ICTR never did the job well. But of course, as I said,
excuse me,
based on any other side. But one thing I would say, one would be in its mandate. To the contrary, it sets a major legal precedents such as recognizing rape as a war crime and also brought to book some major figures.
So we've talked about 80% of the mandate being being achieved. But now there's that 20% missing. And according to what we've researched and what we have on paper, is that there's a certain suspect, I'm sorry, I forgot his name, but a certain, their name, a suspect that was actually, that killed a prime minister. Is that right?
Yes.
Correct? The prime minister. Then
and the 10 Belgian soldiers.
And then the 10 Belgian soldiers. And the Belgians wanted that person, that suspect, to be trialed in Belgium. And so the ICTR, just by its name, the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda, is supposed to take place here. Yes? And I'm feeling like this interference by the Belgian government and everybody else that probably might have interfered could probably have resulted to that 20% not being achieved.
Well,
what do you think about that?
Well, for me, I think for now, I wouldn't argue about the 20%. The 20% could be the number of people that were never brought to justice. But rather, on that same issue of the Belgium issue, was that most of the people saw it as a political interference. Was this ICTR vital or an independent organization from any power? Now, if we saw that actually Nuyahanga was...
That was the prime minister?
No, that was the person that,
suspect.
He actually surrendered to the murder of the former prime minister and the Belgian peacekeepers guarding her. For some, it was a very big conspiracy because Belgium wanted Nuyahanga to appease, they wanted him to appease the families of the peacekeepers, and of course, ICTR caved in. So for some, they would say this was not an independent organization. So that's one thing I would say. But with the 20% would be with the issue of the trials not finished.
Okay. So now that we've looked at it in general, excuse me. Sorry. Now that we've looked at it in general, what is next?
What's next? Of course, what's next is now that for example, he said that the Chief Justice said that Rwanda will stop its push to host the International Criminal Tribunal for Rwanda archives when the court closes. And during the discussion, it was clear that unresolved concerns by Rwanda would dent the legacy of ICTR. But we've seen that some of the court cases that were not solved some will be solved here in Rwanda, and some of them will be taken for. Okay, so wrapping up with the last question, for those of the 8 men that are still on the run, if arrested, some will be tried in Rwanda, and while others will be dealt with by the mechanism for international criminal tribunals, which will continue the work of the tribunal as it stopped its work last year. So there you had it from us. So has justice been served over the 20 years? It's an open debate that we can move on as time goes by. You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Stay with us. Yvette Shumbusho is coming up next with business news.
The things that make you look outside the window and sigh. The ones that make your dreamy eyes look up to the sky and smile. Forget the miles between and smile at the sky. Like it held something precious that belonged to you. Like this little secret that makes you hold everything you love. Let your passion guide you. You can be sure you will touch the sky.
Business stories making headlines today. The local manufacturing sector remains vibrant and robust through 2015, despite challenges growing by 4%. The sector was kept afloat by support from the government, where it signed contracts with different players and committed to improving infrastructure and access to funding, the help, including the industrial production and country's exports. According to the Trade and Industry Minister, Francois Kanimba, the idea was to boost the country's exports industry and help narrow the ever-widening trade deficit gap. The new initiative that aims at fighting against illegal rice processing in the country has been set up, with farmers and millers saying that it will help streamline the cereals value chain. The monitoring committee that was established by the rice farmers and millers seeks to ensure processors adhere to standards along the value chain. The development comes after rice growing cooperatives, millers, and other stakeholders agreed to join hands to fight illegal processors. The committee is supported by the Agriculture and Trade and Industry Ministries. KCB Group is set to complete the separation of the local banking operation from the regional subsidiaries and other business units to comply with Central Bank of Kenya prudential guidelines. The Kenyan unit will soon transfer the regional banking subsidiaries to the parent firm that will be responsible for the growth and risk management of the overall business. The changes will not affect the company's ownership structure at the Nairobi Securities Exchange. The restructuring, which also has been implemented by other banks such as Equity Group, is meant to address operation complexities and seal risk management gaps. You're now up to date with today's business headlines. Sports news coming in just a minute with Moses Birikunzira.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for your sport news. I am Moses Bilkonzira. Starting with the follow-up on CHAN 2016 preparations. Cameroon national team arrived in Rwanda on Sunday ahead of Amavubi friendly. The indomitable Lions arrived in Kigali on Sunday night ahead of today's friendly match against Rwanda at Umuganda Stadium in Rubavu district. Upon arrival in Rwanda, head coach Martin Felix Mpile said that the warm-up match against CHAN 2016 host Rwanda will be a good test for the indomitable Lions. He added that, I quote, "We are praying against Rwanda and we will travel to Uganda for another match, and I believe we will be in good condition for CHAN." After today's game against Cameroon, Amavubi will play against DRC Congo on Sunday 10th at the same venue. And now onto the regional football. Discipline is key for Mido's return to Zamalek. Ahmed Mido Hassam says that maintaining the discipline will be key as he returned to coach Egyptian champion Zamalek for the second time. He replaces Brazilian coach Marcos Paqueta, who was sacked on Sunday. Mido will be working alongside Hazem Amam, who has been appointed as the club's football director. Mido told Al Ahlam newspaper, and I quote, "We will work towards the future to rebuild the team, maintain discipline, and set up new clear working system," and took on his when the team over and his former club Zamalek. And finally, in European football, the manager's merry-go-round saga continued at Santiago Bernabeu as Real Madrid sacked Rafa Benitez on Monday evening after just 7 months in charge and replaced him with club legend Zinedine Zidane for the rest of the season. Rafael Benitez has been sacked as manager of Real Madrid after just 7 months in charge, with club legend Zinedine Zidane replacing him. Spaniard Benitez, 55 years old, was relieved of his duties following a meeting of club's head board on Monday. Real Madrid B team coach Zidane, 43 years old, has been promoted to first team boss. The Frenchman, as a former Real Madrid player and World Cup winner, said, "I am going to put my heart and soul into this job so that everything works out well." And Benitez's final game was which left them third in La Liga, 4 points clear behind leaders Atletico Madrid and 2 points behind Barcelona. The Real Madrid new boss Zinedine Zidane is the 11th coach to be appointed by Florentino Perez in 12 years, club's president, across 2 spells. The length of his contract has not been made public. His first match in charge will be Saturday's home La Liga game against Deportivo La Corona, and Benitez was paid £7.3 million payout as his 7th month in charge. It was on Monday evening when Real Madrid president Florentino Perez announced the sacking of Rafael Benitez after just 7 months in charge, as he was replaced by the club legend Zinedine Zidane for the rest of the season, and his 11th manager in his 12 years as Real Madrid president. For Madrid, winning alone is not enough if you can't beat Barcelona and your closest title rivals. Here is the short 7 months of Rafael Benitez's Real Madrid tenure. Take a look. It was back in June 3rd last year when Real Madrid confirmed Rafael Benitez's appointment as head coach on a 3-year deal. The ex-Liverpool boss replaced Carlo Ancelotti at Bernabeu after the Italian was sacked in a week earlier following Real Madrid's second place, as he guided Real Madrid to 10th European title La Decima. Despite Real Madrid starting the season in a bright form, Rafael Benitez failed to beat Barcelona and their closest title rivals Atletico Madrid, as well as failing to control a dressing room that many believe is full of big egos like Cristiano Ronaldo, Sergio Ramos, and more. This tempted Perez to take action. Speaking at a press conference on Monday night, where he announced the club's decision, Perez said that Rafael Benitez is an absolute professional and a wonderful person. I am here to announce that we have decided to appoint Zinedine Zidane as our new manager. Zinedine Zidane is the man who knows better than anyone to stand in front of to lead Real Madrid. Zidane, throughout his life and his career, he has always been able to face huge challenges. This is your club.
This is your stadium, and you have all our support. From this moment, you are the trainer and the manager of Real Madrid. I know that the world impossible does not exist for you.
Zidane, eres a partir de este momento el entrenador del Real Madrid. Estar al frente de la primera plantilla del Real.
Perez remains a huge fan of Jose Mourinho, and the former Chelsea manager remains an option for Spanish giant at the end of the season if the Zidane experiment fails. Accepting the role, Zinedine Zidane, who won La Liga and the Champions League title in his time with Real Madrid as a player, said the best club in the world and the best fan base in the world. First, I thank the club, the fans, for giving me this opportunity to train this club. This is the best club in the world and the best fan base in the world. I want to ensure that by the end of the season, the club will have a trophy. I will be working hard with all the players, and I think that it will go well. Tomorrow is when the work starts. I'll put all my heart into this club. Thank you so much, everyone.
Hacer lo mejor posible para que este equipo al final de año gane algo.
Despite beating Rayo Vallecano 10 goals to 2 in December 28th last year, Benitez has failed to win 8 games as Real Madrid manager, and he was unable to win any of Real Madrid's big away games so far this season, with Villarreal, Sevilla, Barcelona all beating Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid, Valencia, Sporting Dijon, and PSG all taking a point. Many people reacted on Zinedine Zidane's appointment, including his former teammate David Beckham. He appointed on his Instagram account, and I quote, "Does it get any better than this? A man that has been the best at the game we all love, taking over a club that myself and many more people love, someone with drive, passion, and also doesn't accept failure on his level, taking over from a manager that has huge experience and respect in the game, but taking on position that he will relish, the best person for the job." Moses Vilikunzira, Razencha in Rwanda.
You can't be the manager in Real Madrid
If you can't.
You can't if you don't beat Barcelona. Everyone, of course, is always watching out for this game. And for most of all, it has now grown to Atletico Madrid, the big teams such as Valencia. But now, of course, honestly speaking, the decision in the first place of having Benitez was a surprise to very many people.
Absolutely, including myself.
Yes, Real Madrid is a world-class football team, needs a world-class football coach. Was Benitez the right man, the right choice, especially in a tenure where Real Madrid normally fires bosses at least in 2 years, you have to go out of Real Madrid. What was your whole general view of Benitez coming to Real Madrid, and is his sacking a surprise to you, perhaps?
For Benitez coming to Real Madrid was actually the real fact was because he guided Valencia as the champions and European League champion in I think from 2001 to 2003. Actually, before he came in Liverpool in 2004, that season when he came in Liverpool. And you know, when he came in Liverpool, he guided Liverpool to final Champions League in 2005 in Istanbul, and he took them back in 2007 when they were eventually beaten by AC Milan on final. And you know, for Benitez, he went on to coach Chelsea. He went on to coach at Inter Milan in 2000. After Mourinho left in 2010, he coached Inter Milan in 2011. He coached Chelsea in 2000. He was an interim coach in 2013 when he replaced. When actually he came in Chelsea, and he gave Chelsea Europa League also. Of course. And he went back. Now, when he went in Real Madrid, everyone was asking, is he the right manager to come in? Because now the real reason when Perez actually appointed him as a manager is he's Spanish, and he coached Valencia, so he tested the victory of La Liga as a manager of a minor team Valencia during the time, and Europa League victory. And then so for Perez, he was like, maybe he's the right manager, and because he was considering making Zidane the first manager, and he said probably Zidane is not yet ready because Zidane is the manager of he was the manager of Castilla, the Real Madrid B team. But now, for him to be sacked, actually everyone was asking, why did you bring Benitez first? Because there are a lot of coaches available. And why do you fire Ancelotti after giving you La Decima?
Of course.
You know, dominating Europe. Everyone could see. You see the way he won dramatically La Decima after beating Atletico Madrid 4-1 in final. And, you know, everyone was like, was he the right manager? And the fact that if you can't beat Barcelona and Because what Mourinho brought in Real Madrid when he was there, after, even if he's being accused that he divided the dressing room, he was not in a good par with the Cristiano Ronaldo and Sergio Ramos. For Mourinho, he brought that fighting spirit, and he made sure that the rivalry between Real Madrid and Barcelona, because the moment he arrived, Barcelona had won like four league titles in a row. 3 league titles in a row, and for him, he brought it, and he won the La Liga in 2012 with the record points of 100 points and more than 150 goals scored. So he brought that rivalry. And now when Benitez came, Barcelona beat him 4-0 at Madrid, at Santiago Bernabeu. You can't tolerate that. That's one thing first. And then they failed to beat Atletico Madrid because they drew with Atletico Madrid 1-1. And they were beaten by Villarreal 1-0. The recent game was they drew with Valencia 2-2. So you can't tolerate that.
Of course, as we're wrapping up, because we're out of time, I would say the father of controlled football, the father of free kicks, you name it, Zinedine Zidane, the man that has made history. He's now the coach, first coach. What do you expect from him in just a few seconds?
Actually, I would say it could be good time for him, the way as the rise of Guardiola in Barcelona from B team and the rise of Jose Enrique from Barcelona from also B team. Because when we realize that these legends of the team, especially in Spain, if they are given chance, they always deliver.
All right.
Probably it could be time for Zidane. And when Beckham say that, Beckham say, does it get any better than this? He questioned.
All right. We'll stop it from there. Let's stop the question from there. It gets better.
Can it get better than this?
We can wait to see that. La Liga is becoming hotter with Zinedine Zidane on the spot. We can't wait to have him as the new coach of Real Madrid. Well, that's all we had from sports. Local and international news is coming up next.
The things that make you look outside the window and sigh. The ones that make your dreamy eyes look up to the sky and smile. Forget the miles between and smile at the sky. Like it held something precious that belonged to you. Like this little secret that makes you hold everything with love. Let your passion guide you. You can be sure you will touch the sky.
Let's take a look now at news making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world.
Training of senior managers and investigators of private security service providers and security supervisors of the Rwanda Federation of Taxi Motor Operators Firwakotam started training. The concurrent training conducted by the Rwanda National Police seeks to strengthen the capabilities and professionalism of participants in their respective areas of security, which supplements the overall policing in the country.
Kenya's Garissa University College has officially reopened 9 months after the killing of nearly 150 people, mainly students, in an attack by the militant Islamic group Al-Shabaab. Staff have reported to work while students are expected to be back on campus next Monday. A police post have been set up on campus in northeastern Kenya to improve security. Last year's attack was the deadliest so far by the Somali-based group in Kenya.
And in other news, comments by a white South African woman calling black people, and I quote, monkeys, have sparked widespread outrage. On Facebook, Penny Sparrow used the word to describe New Year's revelers on Durban's beach because of the mess she said they made. She was condemned by many on social media, and the hashtag racist must fall was trending on Twitter.
And in international news, the UN Security Council has strongly condemned an attack on the Saudi embassy in Tehran by protesters angered by the execution of a Shia cleric. The statement made no mention of the execution of the cleric. Saudi Arabia broke off diplomatic ties with Iran on Sunday after its embassy was ransacked and set alight.
And there you had it from the news. And now we take a look at what's happening in lifestyle and what's hot right now in our daily debate section, Hot Topics, with, of course, Sherry Uwase. We'll be right back after the break.
Welcome back. It's now time for your lifestyle update with me, Sherry Uwase. Now, creativity is stretching out to the core, and today we take a look at the field of comedy. I mean, we are all familiar with prominent comedians like Kansime Ann, Athang Husia, our very own, Salvador, The Drunk, and many others. However, today in particular, we look at a rising comedian star. Actually, he's quite very young. Mark Angel is his name, and he's from Nigeria, who is now taking social media by the storm. First, take a look.
Where you dey go? This your guy, all up for sure. Do you remember me? I'm the
look at that mistress is acting like Toro. Why are you not laughing? Is it not fun? Do you know me? Do you know that I had mistress is my mother? And I'm going to report to you right now. Do you know me? Do you know my name? Do you know the class I am? Thank God I'm going home. See. You think you have face? I know your face. I'm going to report you to the headmistress. This is not my real face, so look at my real face.
I think we've all seen that video and how hilarious that little Mark Angel is. And he's been going on for quite a while.
Is it a he or a she?
Sorry, a she. I always get
but
that
the
wrong.
name is Mark Angel.
Mark Angel.
Mark Angel.
Yeah, actually, they said Mark Angel.
Mark Angel. Yeah. It is so funny. I mean, I watched it. It's like, this is not my real face. What? And then he starts making the face
Don't
different.
make that funny
Don't make the face.
I know, I can't. Not
Yeah,
on TV. People might be like, no.
You'll get our viewers to stop watching our show.
No, that is not a face I want to see every morning.
Yes.
But it is very funny and very creative. But do you see, he's such a young child. And it's gotten fame in such an early age, but all because of social media. I mean, just posting this on either Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, and you've got so much recognition. And I have to say, she's very funny.
She is very funny. We hope to get her. I think I should recommend everybody to go and watch watch her videos, Mark Angel, on YouTube. There's so many hilarious.
No, definitely.
You know, for me, what what I liked in the video is like when she was talking about the headmistress, and she was referring the headmistress to another child, of which the headmistress is the mother of the child. And then when the child was like, the headmistress you are talking about is my mother. It was like, don't tell her that this is me who said it. So it's not my face, just assume it.
Yes, like, do you know where my class is? Do you know who my name is? Thank God. But I know your face.
That's not my face. Then she started making funny faces. I mean, that video is, I can watch the whole day long. Yeah. That was beautiful.
Well, I think pretty much one thing I would say that comedians are now going to be eyeing out is making sure that they do more videos. Because honestly speaking, it's not because Ann Kansime she's very good. And we have very many good comedians in Uganda. We have people like Salvador. We have very many people in Kenya like Omondi, and very many people that I see on Churchill. But the mere fact that they take that stage and do these videos, I think it's making a lot of impact. And I've seen a lot of people comment from the USA because people in the US watch a lot of Kansime videos. But now Mark Angel is taking it to another level. Yeah. I mean, the thing with Mark Angel is the fact that, he's Mark Angel. The accent, I mean, she's Mark Angel. The fact that she even does with the comedy with the Nigerian accent, and
it's even funnier.
Yes, and I think
it's even funnier.
I think the most important aspect to take from this is the fact that they're true to themselves. like Anne Kansime, she does not do things from northern Uganda or anything like that. I mean, she sticks to everything that has happened to her in Kabari and the Wachiga people. I mean, she really sticks to her roots. And so do all these other different people, the Nigerians and Omondi and people from Churchill. I mean, they really stick to their roots. And so I think the best advice, or something people can actually take from this, is stick to your roots. Whether you're from, I don't know, there's this other Rwandese comedian, I forgot his name. He did this Adele parody or something like that.
Yeah, I know the
guy.
Saw that? He's an upcoming.
Oh, he's the new guy.
Yeah. Yes, I forgot his name.
I forget his name also, but I know who.
But you see, the way he includes Kinyarwanda and stuff like that, it's really funny and it's good. So.
Yes.
And I think most of our comedians, especially those that are in the comedy nights, should try out and make so many videos, because it's the only way, because at the end of the day, I think the reason why many people are going for all these big comedian shows, if you see how many tickets Kansim is selling out on a show and how many tours he's having around the world, it's because of the videos. It's not just because of advertisement, just because people have seen all these videos, they're so anxious to know what's going to happen when he comes on stage. So I think the Rwandan comedians should invest in making these videos and make sure
to themselves.
Yes, exactly.
And what you mean by that is to brand yourself.
Exactly.
You know, you need to brand yourself. And the only way to brand yourself is to show up to the world what you can do before you actually go on the stage. So people, when people see you on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, they know what to expect in your show. And that's the best way to do.
Right. And I think this is just very encouraging for people even who have talents. I mean, it's not only comedy, but any other. You can get to do this. So let's wrap it up right there. We'll be back with Hot Topics after the break. Welcome back, and it's that Hot Topics time again. As always, you know, the Rise and Shine Rwanda team, we're always up and about gathering everything that you need to know about what's happening here and abroad, from the debates you have in your local cafe. So we've got it all for you right here and right now. And today we're going to talk about this thing that has been trending. The United States of America has raised concerns about President Kagame running for another term. This talk has been going all around social media, raising different sentiments of individuals' view on this. But first things first, does the international world really understand that this was not President Kagame's decision and Rwanda's decision at large? Well, I'll leave that for them to research on. But for now, let's open the discussion right here. And I'll go with you first, Yvette. What do you think?
You know, the first thing I always ask myself every time the United States is feeling concerned with other countries' affairs, internal affairs, I ask themselves, why are they feeling so concerned? Why? I mean, why? It does not really make sense. And the thing is, we had a referendum. I woke up that morning and I went and I voted. I was given the chance to vote, to say yes or to say no. So how is it that they're so concerned? And it's not, the president simply said, even in his New Year's speech, he said, you have asked me and I have accepted. We asked and he has accepted. And I do not see why America has to be so concerned. This is our internal affairs. If not, right?
And again, for Americans, the areas take it wrong every time when they take action for African countries. Because if you look what they did in Libya, and if you look at the peoples in Libya, what happened after they invented in Libya, and what's going on now for the people in Libya right now. And when you say that they are very disappointed, that means they are very concerned more than we do. Why are you taking? Why are they very concerned than us? And how on earth they think for us? And we the country.
That's a very good point, by the way. How is it that they're thinking for us?
Why? Because we are an independent country. We take decision on ourselves as people. And His Excellency, Mr. Paul Kagame, is our president. And he listened to us, the people, than them, the Americans, and anyone else from anywhere in the world. So I think this time where Rwandans should stand in 3 words. We need to stand on unity, we need to stand on accountability, and we need to stand on thinking big. What do we need for the country, and how can we achieve it? Do we stand one another accountable? If yes, we account on him and he accounts on us as people. And are we united to achieve whatever we want to achieve in life? Yes, we can. Are we determined enough? Yes, we can. I think that's the way we should take this thing.
1994, Rwanda was said to be a failed state, right? 22 years later, on we're a country that is progressing. Democracy is stronger than ever before. I wouldn't say this is a country that is growing. Somehow, somewhere, somebody was seated watching this country go astray. But today, they want to be involved in the political decisions we made. 1994, no one sat to make sure that any political...
They were not concerned.
They were not concerned.
Not deeply
simple
concerned.
Simple English word. You know what? I think the deepest worry should be about something else. Maybe the deepest worry should be about the conflicts going on somewhere else. But as long as this country has had a referendum and people have chosen, and then for me, I think, let's follow the Constitution. You know what? Because again, these are just, you know, they tend to get so emotional about their decisions. Sometimes they need to understand that we're people and we made a choice, so...
Exactly.
That's it.
And no one here has an American passport. We all have it, so I don't understand.
You know, earlier I was just thinking, and I think I told you guys about it. You know, America is a very superpower country. Yeah, it's probably the strongest, powerful. The most powerful country in the world. And that, to me, I was relating that to if you have an older sister, yeah? So if you're married and your sister is married, you give her the respect that she deserves. But what gives her the right to come to your home and tell you, no, hey, you should only have 2 kids. No, today you should only eat this food. And no, I think you've had too much milk. Stick to water, stick to fruits.
Thank you.
That's how I'm looking at it. You're a superpower, but at some time you have to, when we need you to, please do that. But
if we come to you and we say, I'm sorry, United States, we are feeling concerned as a people, and we feel like, no, he should not be there, or he should be, please do be concerned then. But nobody has said anything, have they?
Not For God's sake, there's progress, you know?
Yeah, we're making our way to the top.
So Majority wins.
Majority wins, absolutely.
And we'd like to wrap it up right here. Do not go away, we'll be right back after the break.
Don't forget, we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. Like us on Facebook and send us your ideas for programs. Check out our Rise and Shine YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports we do. Finally, find us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We love to see your pictures. Or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website, www.riseandshinerwanda.com. Well, that is all the time we have for you today. We love to hear your feedback, and do let us know if you have any ideas for programs. You have been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Yvette Chimbusho.
And of course, me, Ivan Magwene. We'll be at same time, same place tomorrow. Do join us then. But for now, and the rest of the team, have a very good day. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.